Before we start this video, just to let you guys know, until tomorrow on Friday, I will be gone for 12 days. So it will be unlikely for me to make some videos. Now, if I get to make a video, awesome. But for the moment, it looks like I'll be leaving YouTube for 12 days. So, anyway, let's get this video started. I'm sorry if I didn't make it earlier, but let's get this started. What's up, guys? DGD Tank Mode here with Week 7 college football predictions, and yeah, I already know I messed up Appalachian, but who cares? I picked them. No, I actually didn't. I could be bogus with you, but I can't be bogus. Okay, let's start this video. Colorado at Oregon. Now, this is so far Oregon's toughest test in the Pac-12 with a quarterback, which I think is pretty decent. And not only that, the Colorado, they're somewhat tricky, but you can't. This is an important game because right now the Ducks are first in the North, and then after Colorado, it's at Washington. No, and this is on a Friday, so in this game, I expect Oregon's defense to try to step up. I personally think it will be a very close game, but I'm going to go with Oregon. If I had to predict a score, it's going to be 35-30. That's how close I think it'll get. That's the only time you're going to hear me from a score in college football. Appalachian State versus Louisiana. You know, Appalachian State, you know. God, I can't believe there was a game yesterday that I did not know of. Anyway, Syracuse versus NC State. Now, this is one of those games where it should be fun, should be interesting, but I don't think it is. I think Syracuse is going to lose to NC State. Louisiana Monroe versus Texas State. I'm going to go with Texas State. Colorado State versus New Mexico. Colorado State. Somehow, they'll win. Virginia versus Miami. Now, Virginia, we'll see. But I'm going with Miami. Maryland versus Purdue. I'm going with Maryland. Memphis versus Temple. I will go with Temple. I think Temple pulls the upset over Memphis. Miami, Ohio versus Western Michigan. I'm going with Western Michigan. Michigan versus Illinois. Michigan. Mississippi State versus Tennessee. Tennessee loses. Yeah. Oklahoma versus Texas. Oh boy. This should be the game of the week. Now, I think this will be a very high-scoring game. I think both teams are similar. This is by far the first true test of the Oklahoma Sooners. And really, Texas, there's some parts of their defense that are a little bit in question. So I think this game can go either way. And I think the Texas Longhorns win this game over the Oklahoma Sooners. Rutgers versus Indiana. I'm going with Indiana. South Carolina versus Georgia. South Carolina is totally going to lose. So, yeah, Georgia wins. Toledo versus Bowling Green. Toledo. Georgia Tech versus Duke. I'm going with Duke. Ball State versus Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan. Old Dominion versus Marshall. Marshall. New Mexico State versus Central Michigan. Central Michigan. Alabama versus Texas A&M. Oh, come on. Texas A&M is really... This is the best... This is the great shot they have. Texas A&M really has a great shot of being blown out from Alabama. Bama wins. BYU versus South Florida. I'll go with South Florida. I'll go with them. Cincinnati versus Houston. You know what? Houston for the upset. Florida State versus Clemson. Florida State's got a winning record right now, guys. They got a winning record. Holy crap. They're good again. Said no one ever. Clemson beats them in the shutout. Why not? Kent State versus Kent State. Michigan State versus Wisconsin. Wisconsin. Even though I would be shocked if Michigan State goes into Wisconsin and beats Wisconsin. I'll be very shocked. And we'll prove once again that Wisconsin's not ready for the big time moments. Northern Illinois versus Ohio. Ohio. Washington State versus Arizona State. The Cougars don't have a defense. Let's be for real. The defense is not playing really well, so I'm going with Arizona State. Connecticut versus Tulane. Iowa State versus West Virginia. I will go with West Virginia, home team. MTSU versus Florida Atlantic. Rhode Islands versus Virginia Tech. San Jose State versus Nevada. Texas Tech versus Baylor. I'm going to go with Baylor. I don't know why. Baylor's just looking hot so far. UNLV versus Vanderbilt. Vandy. Why not? GA State versus Coastal Carolina. GA State. UAB versus UTSA. I'm going with UTSA. Why not? Upset. Army versus Western Kentucky. Charlotte versus Florida INT. I don't care. Charlotte. Fresno State versus Air Force. Mississippi State versus Missouri. I'm going to go with Missouri. Wow, they're going to be 5-1. And I jinxed them. Anyway, North Texas versus Southern Miss. UMass versus Louisiana Tech. Arkansas versus Kentucky. Let's be for real. Louisville versus Wake Forest. Navy versus Tulsa. Navy. Nebraska versus Minnesota. I'm going to go with Nebraska. I feel like they would pull up an upset. Penn State, Iowa. Ooh. Now, we remember the last time these two teams played each other in that stadium. This time, it'll be reversed. Same thing, but the home team wins. I'm going with Iowa. USC versus Notre Dame. Now, this is a game where I think Notre Dame could lose. I'm not saying they're going to lose. I say they could lose because USC, they're so hard to understand. 1 minute, they'll beat a top 10 team in Utah. Then they lose to Washington. Another, they'll beat a ranked Stanford team. But they lose to BYU of all teams. So really, USC, they're just so tricky to understand. But I will go with Notre Dame. Because at the moment, we just don't know. Bravo! Florida versus LSU. Oh my god. Philippi Franks. I don't know how you say your name, but why'd you have to get hurt on this game? Literally, you had to get hurt. No, why'd you have to get hurt? This had to happen. Great. Can I really rely on Florida at this point? You know what? I still don't see how LSU can make a playoffs. I still don't see how they're going to beat Bama. I don't see that. I still don't. But you know what? They will find a way to be a disappointment. And if there's a way to be a disappointment, it's this game. It's this game. I just know it can be this game that LSU becomes a disappointment. This is the game. This is literally the game. You can make an argument that this is the first competition in the SEC they have played. God. I hope Florida wins, but because of the fact I want to see LSU fans' hearts get crushed because sometimes they think they can beat Bama. They can't. But I will go with LSU. I'll go with LSU. Hopefully I jinx them. Anyway, yeah, I'm rubbing it in right there. Yeah. Still, even if they beat Florida, you still wake me up until you beat Bama. Then we get talking. Utah versus Oregon State. Oh, Oregon State definitely is going to get blown out. Yeah, Utah. Hawaii versus Boise State. Wyoming versus San Diego State. Washington versus Arizona. The Dogs, man, looks like another disappointing season. You know, I've been enjoying it so far. I called it on the Stanford game last week, and I predict them in the beginning of the season 8-4. So I think the odds of that are pretty good so far. Pretty good at going 8-4 and just realizing something. I don't know what you gotta realize, but there will be something they'll realize. But I will go with Washington to win this game. Anyway, what do you guys have for this week? Leave a comment down below, hit the like button, share with your friends, subscribe to more videos like this one. And to me, the true game of the week is probably Texas versus Oklahoma. And that's probably the true game of the week. But this is TGTV Tank Mode. Signing off.